card, but it's also a little bit of a gift. It is a Christmas card with a tea sachet on the top. Now it doesn't open, it just flips over. You can write your message on the back, and your little gift is on the top. I have a lot of friends who enjoy tea, and I thought, what a nice way to send them a Christmas card and let them know I'm thinking about them especially. So let's look at the supplies that you're going to need. You will need a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4, a piece of DSP, this is the Quilted Christmas DSP, that is 6 by 6, and a piece of, I used thick Whisper White for the die cutting. This is about 4 by 5. So the first thing we want to do is to do our stamping, actually. And you'll notice on this one that we've stamped Merry Christmas on the bottom, and it is heat embossed. So that's why we want to go ahead and get our stamping done and all of our heat embossing. I also heat embossed the little mittens. The ink we're going to use today is Real Red and Versamark. So for the greeting on the bottom, we are using the Hang Your Stocking stamp set. I wanted this Merry Christmas. It had a perfect look for me for this particular card. And that we're just going to stamp in Versamark ink. Before we stamp, because of this paper is red, we want to make sure that we take our Stampin' Buddy and rub it across the bottom where this is going to go. And center your stamp right toward the bottom. And then we are going to heat emboss this in gold. Alright, we'll put our excess embossing powder back in our container. And get our heat gun out. We're going to warm it up a little. Okay, I use these Swiffer dust, or I guess they're floor sweepers, not dust cloths. And I just wipe off the excess embossing buddy powder. Now before I do anything else, I want to attach a piece of just regular Whisper White to the back so that I can write a message to the recipient. And I'm going to round all 4 corners on the white and also on the Real Red cardstock. All of this product is from Stampin' Up, with the exception of the corner rounder. They don't have a corner rounder in their inventory anymore, but you can use any corner rounder. And then we just need to adhere this to the back. Now this is a card, because of the tea bag being in it, it's probably going to require some extra postage. But for me, for my friends that enjoy tea, it's worth the extra postage. Okay, so that piece is done. Now we need to do our stamping for this piece. We need the mittens and we need the greeting, and I do want to heat emboss them. I'm going to stamp them all in one piece of paper and we'll die cut all at one time. Now on this one, you need to think about where your greeting is going to be, and you are going to put Versamark and rose red ink on it because we're going to emboss it in clear. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had this the right way around. So, Versamark first. Real red. And we're going to stamp up here so that we have room for our die cut. And I'm going to go ahead and put my embossing powder on. And now we're going to stamp our mittens. Again, Versamark first, and make sure you have those really well inked. And then we're going to use our real red. And I'm going to stamp at the bottom. Then our embossing powder. And now we can heat emboss. I will speed this up so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Okay, so that is all of our stamping and our embossing done. So let's bring our Big Shot in. We're going to use our magnetic plate, cutting pad, our images, and we are using two different sets of framelits. We are using the stitch shaped framelits, the largest square, and we are using the I can't get this one out today, mini Mittens framelits. And I do have some washi tape on them because when I did the other one, they just weren't staying in place on the magnetic plate. And that does happen sometimes. And I honestly didn't have the patience to be moving them around a lot, so washi tape to the rescue. And that one looks like it's going to hold fine. And then this one just fits around your greeting at the top. Double check your mitten again. No, I don't think it is holding right. So better safe than sorry. All right, another cutting pad. And we'll run it through. Big Shot away. All right, now to adhere our mittens, we are going to be using some linen thread. You don't need a lot. but I like to give myself enough to fiddle with. Fold it in half and just tie a knot in the top, leaving a small loop. You don't want a big loop, just a small one. And I like to put a needle in the center of my loop and kind of get it to where I want it so that it doesn't get so tight I can't work with it. Alright, now we're going to take our mittens, some glue dots. So we need a glue dot on the back of each mitten in the center. And this is really just to hold our thread down while we're putting this together. And I put one close to the top, and then I put one so it dangles a little further down. If you saw my earlier video, you know that I cut my finger and I have a band-aid on it, and I keep getting this band-aid caught on the glue dots. And I kind of lay it down and check it before I trim this. Trim those tails so that they're not going to show through. And then we are going to use dimensionals. And I put it right over the glue dot and the thread so that it's an extra layer of adhesion for the threads. And then I just kind of play with it a little bit and figure out where I want my mittens. And adhere them down. I use another glue dot that I roll up into a ball. You're kind of trying to get it as tiny as you can. Put it on the knot. And then where you want it. Alright, so that's our sentiment taken care of. Now let's make the rest of the card. You need your envelope scoreboard and a piece of 6x6 DSP. We are going to punch and score at 3 on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to round the corners. Done with our punch board. Let's fold and burnish. Alright, so what we want to do is bring our 2 sides in, and again I just use a little glue dot right on the corner of one of the sides and fold it over. And then I use snail along the bottom. And to hold it closed, we're going to use a Velcro dot, one of the little paper ones. peel off one side of the backing. And put that right on the point of your closing flap. Peel off the other side of the backing and press down. And then we want to adhere our sentiment, and I center it, and then I just kind of flip it over so I know where I want to put some snail. Be generous with the snail because you don't want this to come off. Okay, let's take the base of our card and we are going to adhere this there. Fast glues will work fine. Now you'll note I'm not putting the tea bag in yet because you don't want all of that bulk while you're still trying to put adhesive on. Now make sure that your top and side borders are the ones that are even. Obviously your bottom border is much larger. Alright, there you go. And let's grab our sample, if I can find what I did with it, and put, there it is. Make sure that a tea bag fits, and it does. And actually, just about any size of tea bag or tea bag sachet will fit quite nicely in here, so not to worry about that. I hope you enjoyed the project. I hope you come back and visit soon. Happy holidays.